Ahoy! Today we're going to make a pretty easy dish. We're going to do a crispy octopus, baby octopus. Now there are so many different ways that you can make octopus, and have it as an appetizer, have it as a lunch, have it as a dinner. It's very tasty. It's not difficult. It is going to be a little time consuming, and that's why I'm doing it at home. This dish can be made at home and brought to the boat. Now, if you're living on board, no problem. You got plenty of time for this. Basically, what we're going to do, I'm going to show you what we're going to need and how we put it together, but we're going to need to simmer it for about 45 minutes. Then we're going to marinate it for 12 hours before we crisp it up. Well, let's get to it. Here's what we need and how we put it together. Well, of course, to start with, we need our octopus. Now, this octopus came with the ink bag removed. However, it's not totally cleaned. I'm going to show you how to clean it. We're going to need to split this open, take the rest of the outside or inside out, and then take the little beak out. I'll show you one, then we'll do the rest of it. But then, all we need then is a little bit of lemon juice, parsley, fresh parsley if you have it, but if not, that's all right. We don't have to have fresh parsley in this. A couple of bay leaves, some fresh minced garlic, and a leek. Now, we're going to use 2 parts of the leek. As you know, as you get further up here where it gets dark green, this is really not chewable. It's edible, but you'd have a tough time chewing it. So what we're going to do with that is we're going to cut this right about here. We're going to use this in our broth to simmer it, the octopus, and we'll cut the root off, clean it up, slice this up for the marinade. And as you know, leeks are probably one of the dirtier vegetables that you're going to get. We got to make sure this is really clean before we start cooking with it. Well, let's take a look at how to clean the octopus. As I mentioned, the ink bag is removed, but we need to get the rest of this out of here. So we're just going to take a food scissors. I'm going to cut into the body. And you'll feel the little parts in here. Just going to push those out. See, that just came right out. Now, for the beak, you can see the little dark spot right there. It's not real big. So you kind of have to work on that a little bit. Push that in there. You see how that just popped out there? Pull that out. That's all there is to it. Now I'm going to go ahead and clean the rest of these, and then we'll get back to cooking. Well, I got all our little critters cleaned. It wasn't that difficult. It did take a little bit of time, but there's the body, the tentacles. We got all the little beaks out. And we're going to saute or simmer these just as they are. When we get done, if they're a little big, we can always cut them in half. So I've got those clean. We're just going to add that to enough water to cover them. Throw in our bay leaves. Now the leeks, I only used a few of the leaves for that. We don't want to overpower it. Parsley, a couple tablespoons. Minced garlic, and I minced my own. Oh, another point here. One of the things with the octopus, I bought it frozen. Now you can buy it fresh too, but buying it frozen also helps with having it a little bit more tender. And you can use real lemons. Now I'm just going to put in a couple tablespoons of lemon juice. Not only does this add flavor, but it helps tenderize it. So we're not going to boil this really hard. We're just going to put it on a light simmer for about 35 to 45 minutes. We'll check it in a half hour. In the meantime, we'll get ready to do our marinade, and we're going to need for the marinade a little bit of olive oil, more parsley, garlic, and lemon juice. We're also going to save about a cup of the liquid from simmering to use in this. And what I did with the leek, see, I left the root on. I cut it open in slices here. That way I can just peel it down and get it cleaned up. So we're going to dice a little bit of this. To throw into our marinade. Now once we're ready to marinate this, we're going to marinate this for at least 12 hours. And that's why I'm saying this is something that you can do at home. You can do it the day before, a couple days before, because of the time it's going to take to marinate it. And I wouldn't cut this time short. You know, you may say, oh, hey, 6 hours ought to be plenty. You need at least 12 hours. Some people do this for 24, but I think 12 is going to be good. Okay, that's to a rolling boil. Now we're going to turn it down to just a simmer, and you can see they're starting to cook up already, so we don't want to overcook them. That's why we're going to put this to a simmer. Well, it's been about 45 minutes. So let's just take a check on this. I mean, they look, let me grab one here. Here we go. Let's just see. Yeah, the fork is going in it very soft, so I think we're ready to go. Let's put this into our marinade. All right, I think we got them all. Now, as I mentioned, we want to put a little bit of this broth in with the marinade, just enough to cover everything. Let's see if we've got that done here. Yeah, I think we're good. Just need to let this sit now for about 12 hours. Well, guys, it's been overnight, so it's about 12, 14 hours now. And I think our little guys are ready to crisp up. So we're going to heat the pan, get it nice and hot. Just a little bit of olive oil to cover the bottom. Once that gets hot, we're going to start to brown off our little guys. We're not going to use all of the marinade. We're going to put a little bit in with this, though. But we're not going to use all of it. Our pan is nice and hot. Let's start with this. Pull that moisture out of there to crisp things up. There, see how nice and brown that is? They are finished. And there we have it. Crispy baby octopus. A little time consuming, but well worth the effort. Well, until next time, guys, bon appetit. It's really tasty. It's got a nice little crunch to it.